Howdy y'all, how are we today? I'm pretty good. I just made myself a nice cup of tea. I make this huge cup and then just drink on it all night because I like both sweet tea and not sweet tea. Hot tea and cold tea. So this one's going to be a pretty quick one. It is an exciting one. I have 2 whips and 1 finish, which is very exciting. So I'll start with my finish. Very proud of it. It is framed. Not the perfect framing, because this is not what I had planned to do with the project. It is Rapunzel on Ponyta? No. I'm not sure. But it is for my sister for her 16th birthday, which is on Friday. So I'm very glad I got this done in plenty of time. I'm going to make her a card as well. And yeah, so this was my finish. There is actually, what is it, buddy? Oh, a bee just landed on the window and my cat went running. There's actually a lot more to this pattern that I might stitch one day, but you know, this is pretty much all I had room for. I also checked the frame because I had some more stitched over here that I ripped out. But I just didn't have a frame that was going to make it work because it's just wasn't perfect, because if I did it this way then it wasn't going to sit in the frame perfect. And I had originally wanted to put this in a hoop, but I don't own any hoops because I don't like stitching with hoops. It hurts my hand and I can only do the one-handed stitching. So instead I have my goodness, I forgot the name of it, the square frame, and I just prop it up on my knee and 2-hand stitch that way, which is helping a lot. So yeah, this is how I finished this one. Not the most proud of it, but it is what it is. So I think the stitching looks good. Happy with that. But yeah, this is an Etsy pattern from Easy Cross Stitch on Etsy, and this designer has a whole slew of Disney princesses and Pokemon. I also have the Elsa one for myself, so probably gonna stitch that up for me one day. Probably not soon, but eventually, because I don't have the fabric I want to put it on right now. And then I've got my Mooka Disney Princess from Pinky the Pink on Etsy, and here is where she is. Goodness, let me see. I don't have anything to put behind this. I meant to grab something. But I did not take a picture of this last week. I meant to show you my progress. But let me see if I can fold this. Yeah, it's better. I had outlined that entire sleeve. I filled it in and put a little bit of the design work in there, French knots and back stitching, and then I filled in this entire bit of the skirt right here. Sorry about my nails, they haven't been done in a long time. So yeah, now I just have to connect the bodice and do a little bit of hair. I was originally beading this as I go, but I think I'm going to do, not really do that as much anymore because I like putting this in my frame and I don't want to break any beads. So, because I was originally stitching this in hand because that's what I used to always stitch. I used to always stitch in hand. But I realized that this fabric is much too floppy for that. Maybe if it was in a bit of a stiffer fabric, I'd be able to do that. But I just cannot stitch this in hand. So I'm putting it on my frame and it's going a lot faster. I'm definitely liking it a lot. I'm realizing that as I stitch this up, I am loving watching some true crime documentaries on Netflix because I used to never have time, of course, to watch anything on Netflix. And I have suddenly found myself with plenty of time. Also, for all you frugal crafters out there, this was a makeup bag I got. Someone in my family, they always they have a lot of points at like Sephora or Ulta, and they'd always get these, I think this is an Estee Lauder, yeah. So they would always buy like these bundles because they get them for pretty cheap, and they would never use the bags. So I have I now use makeup bags for my cross-stitching projects, and it works out pretty well. And then I have a box that's actually under my feet that I bought from TJ Maxx for like 10 bucks that I put all my cross-stitching stuff with. So yeah, I got the beads with my Muka Disney Princess and then the threads in this little bag. So it's not that big, but it fits everything, so I'm happy with it. And then of course we've got my Heaven and Earth design by, it is Heroes and Heroines by Amy Stewart, and it is the one that I actually have the pattern for. So I am working on this page right here. It's about that big from there to there. I'm really enjoying this. The beginning of this page stitched up super fast, excuse me. Oh, my nose itched. The beginning of this page right up here stitched up super fast because there's probably 6 or 7 colors. So I was flying through this because it's on the 25 count easy count Ada. I had it in my scroll frame, and not scroll frame. I cannot think of what this silly thing is called. The square one with the things on it that move around. But it is just super easy. So here is my progress on that. I got probably about, I finished pretty much all of this week. I'm almost at a row finish. Yeah, row finish here. Probably got about another maybe 150, 200 stitches, which I'll finish tonight. But yeah, I think that this is a beautiful pattern. So once I've got, after I finish this row, I have 2 and half-ish more rows to do. Sorry, I couldn't see my numbers up there because it blended into the fabric and I thought it stopped recording. But it didn't. We're good. Especially coming, that page definitely felt like it's stitching up a lot faster because this was, pardon my language, confetti hell. There was probably 35 colors right in here. And then the bodies, of course, anyone who's ever done Heaven and Earth skin knows. Oh my goodness, that's insane. But yeah, that was my week stitching, my weekday stitching. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get as much done this week because I have 2 exams on Thursday. So this is probably just going to be nighttime stitching because I do a lot of studying during the day. So yeah, but this week I'm very excited. I'm very happy because last week I finally got back into my Rapunzel piece. I had been talking last update video that I was pretty unhappy with the piece because it's a lot of block colors, and I still feel that way. It's a lot more counting, it's a lot more being actively paying attention, especially because in the bodice, her upper bodice, there's beads, so it's not like I can just outline it and then just fill it in like normal blocks of color. It's, no, I have to count every single one. I have to make sure that I'm skipping the right stitch so I get the right bead in the right place. I think my cat just opened the closet door. And it is strange. Sorry, I've been watching too much true crime. Now I'm like, oh my god, is that someone who's in my house and is opening doors? But it's my cat getting in my closet. I know that. Anyway, so my plans for this week. I am thinking about maybe restarting a Riolas kit. I will show you that if I do start it. I don't want to pull it out because then I'm definitely going to start it. And I don't know if I want to start it because it's another pretty big full coverage piece. And I think I've told myself that I only want to do 1 full coverage piece at a time. And I'm working on 2 pretty big projects right now. One of them has a date because, like I said, the Rapunzel cross stitch, the Muka Disney Princess, is for my sister's graduation in 2021 in May. So I have, at this point, 2 years to finish that. I've only been working on it for 6 months, probably next week. So I've gotten 3 pages done in, well, hopefully 3 pages done if I can finish up what I'm working on right now. If I can finish up that page by the end of this week or even next week, I'm good with that. So yeah, the plans are to work towards a finish on the current page of the Rapunzel, which will get her entire bodice of her right side, my left page, done. And then I want to finish the page that I'm working on and then get started up at this corner over here, which will actually be the beginning of the Romeo and Juliet page, which is exciting because that page is actually, that little motif is, as you can see, smaller. So it is, this is, I think it's, yeah, it's 3, this part is about 3 1/4 page over here, and then this one is only 2 1/2. So that one will hopefully stitch out pretty quickly. And like I was going to say, but then got distracted by the cat opening a door, I am working this piece, I'm doing kind of a diagonal, which you can now see better than you could last video. So kind of, I guess stair step would be the better term. So I'm going to finish this page and then come back up here, finish this motif completely, which would be really exciting. Well, almost completely, because it comes over a little bit more in this page that'll come over here, but it won't be that bad. So yeah, once I finish that page, that'll be 5 pages in 4 months, which is insane. You can tell that this is my hobby, and I am definitely kind of a monogamous stitcher. I don't like having a whole bunch of projects. And I'll be honest, I love seeing other people's projects, but some of y'all have like 80 projects and it gives me anxiety. So I think that I need to just, I like having 2 pieces, maybe 3. Even 3 I was kind of like, ooh, because I'd get stuck on one piece and then I feel bad about not working on my other pieces. And I don't want that to happen because stitching is my happy place. And I think it's a lot of our happy places right now. Stitching and watching true crime. But I like, currently I want to watch like the silly true crime where it's like silly, like not murders or anything. I like the people who thought they could get away with like robbing a department store, but it's the middle of the day on a Wednesday and it's like people are there and they don't have any plans. That's some of my favorite stuff to listen to because it's just these people who are like, I don't know how I got caught, and I'm like, yes you do. So yeah, if I start that Riolas kit, you will see it next week. If I don't, you won't. I probably won't, but there is a chance because I had gotten new fabric for it because I didn't like the coverage, and you were only supposed to use 1 strand, and I hated that. As a stitcher, I need full coverage, and I understand that like when you hold it back and you like look at it from a wall, it looks full coverage, it looks great, but stitching it, if the coverage isn't good, I toss it away because it's going to take a year or 2 to get to the point where, you know, oh, I can put it on a wall, oh, I see what that is. But if I'm stitching it for 2 years and I'm not happy with the coverage, you know, I'm not going to continue to stitch on it. But yeah, everything's good, everything's exciting. This week was better than last week, I will say that. I think it's because, you know, I think I've finally kind of figured out what I need to personally do to keep myself in a good headspace. But yeah, it is my sister's birthday on Friday, so we're going to have a little quarantine party with her. I'm going to see her on Thursday because I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't even been to the store. My grandparents were going out, so I just gave them some money and they bought some stuff for me, dropped it off outside my door, and yeah, so that's what's happening. My grandmother actually has been making face masks. She is going to be donating them and giving them to family members and neighbors and things like that, because actually our current hospital apparently is actually doing pretty well with face masks. because we only have, I think, 10 or 11 cases currently at the hospital that I am closest to, that she actually worked at for years. So she is making them. We are not profiting off of them. I personally don't. We have both agreed that that's just kind of not the right thing to do right now, because they're a necessity, and people need to be helping each other as much as possible. So yeah, she made me 2 face masks that I can wear when I go out, because I am going to have to get gas eventually, because I am running low on gas. Haven't gone anywhere, but somehow still running low on gas. Yeah, so everything's good with me. I hope everything's good with you. I love watching Flosstube videos right now. They are definitely my favorite thing in the world. I'll say that they are the best thing right now. Because some of you just have the most amazing personality. Like, yeah, I love your stitching, but also, what have you been up to? How are you? I love your stories. Tell me all of them. I love it, and I love everything that the community is doing for each other. I love all the free patterns that are going out. I love all the creativity that everyone's showing in this time where stuff kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling, because I could go on for another hour, because of course, I think it's pretty obvious, I'm a bit of a talker. And I'm gonna get back to stitching and trying to find a silly crime documentary to watch. Maybe on YouTube this time. We will see. Have fun. Have a good week of stitching, and I can't wait to see you all next week. Bye.